The younger girls have surprised me the most with their skills of fishing, their knowledge of fishing, and how they receive it. My wife and I work tirelessly, so I have a lot of females out there that are, my mom, my sisters, my wife. So when the females, the younger girls come, they see them having a great time, so it encourages them to have a great time out there.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your fearless host, Angie Scott.
How much fish are around here? A lot.
There's a few. There's some right under us right now.
Oh, wow.
See all them little fish.
Yeah, that's cool.
This was from our Team Nashville Bassmasters Kids Fishing Day. We had several young boys come out from the Boys and Girls Club in Middle Tennessee, and I had the pleasure of taking 3 young girls out on my Quest pontoon. I'm happy to say that everyone on board either caught a fish or hooked up with one. We had 2 big ones break off on us, unfortunately. Afterwards, we had a weigh-in with prizes for the most weight and for big fish. Then that was followed up by a cookout, and all of the kids received really nice Hank Parker signature spinning rod and reel combos that were donated by Luz. The weather was perfect. It was a huge success. So for this episode, I wanted to bring on Kendall Newson, former wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, to talk about his organization, Teach a Child to Fish. I wanted to mention real quick, too, before we jump into our chat, that Cabela's and Bass Pro Shops have an event going on this summer called Gone Fishing. They're donating more than 50,000 rods and reels nationally to nonprofit youth organizations that connect kids with nature, like Teach a Child to Fish does. Post a fishy, which is a selfie with a fish, and use the hashtag GoneFishing and challenge 5 of your friends to do the same thing and donate to Teach a Child to Fish. And then you can also go to their website and enter to win a 2018 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road Plus and Ascend Adventure Package. I'm going to put links to all those in the show notes, which you'll be able to find at anglerstyle.com/17. All right, let's jump into my chat with Kendall so you can learn more about his organization, Teach a Child to Fish. Kendall Newson, welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast. So I didn't realize this going into this, but you and I actually went to MTSU together at the same time. I started in the fall of '99 and graduated in 2001.
Oh, man, Blue Gator, what's up?
Yeah, exactly. Could you give the listeners a quick background on how you got into fishing?
Basically, my fishing history goes back to 4 years old, fishing with my dad, my brothers and my sisters, and my mom. I think my dad had a real passion. He just had a real passion for fishing. And we would go fishing every weekend in the summer. Spring break, we would go fishing at West Point Lake in LaGrange, and we would do camping trips where me and my brothers, we would bring out pillows and blankets and sleep on the rocks.
Wow.
And fish all night, and that was kind of installed in me at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old to where, I didn't really understand what was going on. I was just having fun, out there fishing, catching bluegill, crappie, catfish, and bass. But it kind of started there, and then it just stayed with me all the way through college and the pros.
Mm-hmm. So you got drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars from MTSU in 2001, and then eventually ended up with the Miami Dolphins, and you got injured, and fishing kind of took a bigger role helping you through that process. Can you talk a little bit about that experience, what that was like?
Yeah, I actually, while at MTSU, I was fishing pretty heavily. A lot of people didn't know that, but I would go to the rivers and creeks and ponds and different things in school. And when I got drafted, I ended up with the Miami Dolphins, and I I injured my Achilles tendon. I tore my Achilles tendon, and I remember sitting in my apartment just thinking like, okay, I got to get back healthy, but I only work out in the morning, and then I'm through the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get through at like 12 or 1, and I'm just sitting around the rest of the day. And that's where my passion of fishing really started to pick back up, because I was finally a pro. I was finally making a living, and I would get my brother or whoever I could get to take me fishing every day. So I would go to rehab in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning, through about 1, and go fishing the rest of the day.
Cool.
So it kind of just propelled me to start thinking about, my career after football. And right then and there, Teach a Child to Fish was born. One day I was sitting on the bank in Florida. I was catching probably 100 fish that day. I caught probably 100 bass that day. And I was having so much fun. I was like, man, this is what I really want to do the rest of my life. And I was like, yeah, because football is too tough. It's too rough. You got concussions. You got injuries. And do I want to go teach football? I said, no, man, I'd rather teach fishing like my dad did, So that's how Teach a Child to Fish was born.
Awesome. When did it officially launch?
That was 2008.
2008.
Officially launched, and I basically would meet kids at a local Walmart, real close to the neighborhood I grew up in. Started meeting those kids there, and we started going on individual outings.
What was one of the biggest reasons why you felt like getting kids involved in fishing is so important?
Well, for me, fishing has always been a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I can remember. But what I remember when I got to the NFL was, just talking to a lot of the guys. They knew about fishing, but they didn't have the experience that I had in fishing. And a lot of guys never went fishing. So I always remembered that. And I believe that, it was something that the secrets of fishing, I like to call it, is where a son and a father or mother and son is out there on the water, and they have those secret conversations or secret things happen to that person. So I wanted that to be translated back into a lot of our youth.
I saw in a promotional video that you did for Teach a Child to Fish, you talked about how sometimes when kids are out there on the water, they may talk about things or open up about things that they wouldn't otherwise normally talk about, maybe issues going on at school or at home. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, they wouldn't really talk about, life cycles and life processes. But through fishing, they see the life cycle and the life process. So it opens their mind up to actually talk about life and things that are going on in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are grabbing a worm, you start to realize that this is a living creature. Where did it come from? So you start to think about, nature and the outdoors opens your mind to start thinking about your own life and your own body, your own health issues and different things like that.
Mm-hmm. When I was reading on the website, too, one of the things it mentioned is that fishing teaches things like responsibility, teamwork, accountability, and patience. And, when you think about teaching someone to fish, a lot of times you don't think about all those other side benefits that come with learning the sport, more than just actually learning the skill of being able to catch a fish.
Yeah, being able to just be an angler or catch a fish, I think that is very important. But I think the tools that the kids go away with are the biggest things that happens when you fishing, like patience,
mm-hmm.
like teamwork, like completing a task. I mean, how many people out there right now that don't know how to tie a polymer's knot or a clinch knot or a snell knot? So just to complete that task and understand that I did that, it gives a sense of independence,
Yeah, definitely. And In your experience of running the organization thus far, have there been many young girls involved at all?
The younger girls have surprised me the most with their skills of fishing, their knowledge of fishing, and how they receive it. My wife and I work tirelessly, so I have a lot of females out there that are, my mom, my sisters, my wife. So when the females, the younger girls come, they see them having a great time, so it encourages them to have a great time out there. And I saw a lot of the girls that maybe were struggling with school or whatnot. I give motivational speech to them, and I give them some keys and some secrets to making all A's in schools. And I had a couple of girls come back there that are making all A's now.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. Have you seen any kind of growth, like more females coming out than when you first started it, or is it pretty much the same?
I would say more mothers,
Mm-hmm.
more mothers than when I first started. More mothers are, whether they're bringing their son or they're bringing their daughter or they're bringing a church group. The mothers and the women are more in attendance, I would say, as in the younger program. But as you get more to the professional side, you get more probably adults, and then you still get women in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to see, 50-50. Probably that's years out. But I think the women hold their own in the sport of fishing and in the outdoors. Just in the outdoors alone,
Yeah. Cool. Well, talk a little bit more specifically about the organization. What kinds of things do you offer or have these kids get involved with?
Right now, we have been for the last, this year is our 10-year anniversary, so we have some different things that's planning for Atlanta. But some things that the kids are experiencing through our program is like what you said, a family field organization that gives them a sense of responsibility to their own independence and understanding what their task is here in life. Mm-hmm. So they get anything from knot tying to casting to boat safety to conservation, and now we're dealing with some things with aquaculture and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So the kids are well-rounded kind of activities, hands-on, that they're getting involved in.
What have there been what have been some of the biggest challenges or the areas that you need the most support in to keep this organization going and be successful?
Right now, we have noticed that to be successful is always going to be the follow-up with the kids. Mm. You can get a couple of kids out there and fish, a couple of girls out there and fish, especially girls, following up with them to make sure that, okay, the ones that was like, ew, to the worms, and now they like, I play with the worms, Yeah. You want to make sure you follow up with them because they have a knack for it,
Right.
So our biggest challenge is just finding a home, finding a headquarters in Georgia.
Okay.
And I believe once we are funded well enough and, we have our business and organized enough so we have our headquarters foundation, which we're very close to getting it.
Awesome.
And I'm so excited about it. Hopefully we could have it by the year's out, and that would be awesome. But that's one of our biggest challenges, just having a headquarters where we can follow up and have repeat visits with all our kids.
Yeah. I like that you brought that up, the follow-up, because I'd mentioned before we started the interview that this past Saturday we'd taken a group of kids out from the Boys and Girls Club, and it was pretty awesome. One of our members was actually able to get Luz to donate a bunch of rods and reels, brand new rods and reels, to give to all the kids. And I thought,
wow,
I thought, well, that's really cool, but, this was a lot of them their first time going out fishing, and now they've got this brand new rod and reel. Well, who's going to show them, how to set it up, and who's going to take them again, And so I think that would be really something great that our club could do to follow up with the Boys and Girls Club, and, maybe have another type of education day or something like that. So that they don't just go home with these rods and reels and they sit and collect dust because they don't know what to do with them next.
Yeah, or when they break, or when they have a problem with, a spinning reel or a bait caster is going to break, or they're going to have a problem with it.
Right. Yeah.
So the biggest thing, like I'd like to do, is try to follow up with them. And if you can follow up with those kids, then when the spinning reel is tangled to where you just got to cut the line off, or it's, like you said, sitting in the corner gaining dust. Why? And the biggest problem there is, especially for kids in Atlanta, they have nowhere to go. As in a pond that is going to be fishable or have fish in it that are biting, more than 1 hour, 2 hour. So fishing becomes more so in urban areas, more, I would say, broader, and you can be able to do more things in the fishing industry or in an urban area. You know what I mean? Like in an urban area, that is so challenging. You have to find unique ways to keep the kids engaged. Yeah,
definitely. Is that part of the plan? Once you have like a facility, will there be like a place to fish tied in with that?
Most definitely. We are working tirelessly to do things like that, to have situations where the kids fish. We have youth fishing clinics to keep the kids engaged in the urban area. So any company, any boys and girls, any church could call us up and book a youth fishing clinic with us, and that's where we kind of engage these kids a lot better.
That's really cool. How would someone who's listening out there help support, or even maybe if they want to get involved as a volunteer? I don't know if you have volunteers, but how would they go about finding out more and maybe donating or supporting to help your cause?
Yeah, they could go on Teach a Child to Fish. That's teachachild2fish.net. They could go there, call the number there, or email us from that email there, or just sign up and drop us a comment about what you want to do, and staff and everything would start to work on that for that group or that person. Like I said, once again, the hardest part to our program now is the individual attention to certain moms and dads that'll call us up and say, hey, my son wants to learn fishing. How do I do this? And that's where it gets where you're losing one kid to the next, because you just don't have the time to kind of just bring one kid in. So because we all are doing groups, you know what I mean? So that's why once we have our facility, we'll be able to also provide service to that one-off, that one-on-one a lot better, you know, with the repeat visit.
Right.
But if anybody out there want to, donate, help our cause, understand what they're donating to, what we're trying to do, then the best way to do that is go to our website, teachachild2fish.net, drop us a comment, email, or just call us on the phone.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Was there anything else I didn't cover, anything that you wanted to mention?
Just, in the fishing industry itself, it is a $583 billion industry. And a lot of the upcoming things that will be happening in the fishing industry, on my belief, since I've been dealing with, Bass Pro Shops. I work with Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's now, Nitro Boats, and just to see where things are going now, I believe that it's a lot of playroom for urban cities and urban kids to come into the fishing industry and make some headway.
Mm-hmm. That actually just came up in an interview I did recently with a couple of ladies who fly fish, and they mentioned there's a lot more opportunities in urban areas, even to fish. Like we talked about somebody we know that fishes the Los Angeles River. There's like urban waterways and things that people can get involved and still get out there, even if they're not, in a more rural area with like nice lakes and things like that. Yeah.
Right.
So
I think those are the things that our foundation are paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And partnership, collaboration are big. We are a 501c3 organization, and just partnerships and collaborating with different like organizations are the keys to success, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, that's awesome to have an organization like yours that other organizations can team up with and get, introduce these kids to fishing where they wouldn't have any other way of having that experience. So.
Right.
Awesome. Well, really cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. And I'll share links to everything on the website as well. And, hopefully we can get some supporters. And, I hope you reach your goal of getting a facility here soon, and we'll be able to better help serve the kids.
All right. Have a great day or a great fishing day.
All right. Thank you. You too. All right, I really hope you enjoyed my chat with Kendall Newson and that it motivated you to get involved and teach a child to fish, and or inspired you to take a kid out fishing and share your love and passion for the sport with them, and hopefully pass it on to generations to come so we can keep this awesome sport alive and well. Reminder that you can find links to everything at anglerstyle.com/17. And if you haven't already, please check out our Woman Angler and Adventurer Facebook group and connect with other female anglers and outdoors women who are listeners and supporters of the show as well. We're having our first exclusive group contest, which is a $50 Bass Pro gift card, and there'll be much more to come. So if you want a chance to enter that contest, you'll need to jump in the group quickly. Until next time, as Kendall said, have a great fishing day, everyone.